Okay, Kesa Gatame Escape. It's a continuation of the last one. All we're going to do is we're going to go to Mongolian back crank twister, whatever you want to call it, from the Kesa Gatame Escape. Yeah, this is aka 1984. Right, so Graham goes to Kesa Gatame. He's doing everything good. It's a good pin. He's lifting my shoulder off the ground. His head's above my head. There's no bridge there. I can't take him this way. I can't turn towards him. Everything's really nice and tight. Okay, the first thing I need to do once he's in this position is I need to protect this arm. That's the one he can attack if he wants to attack it. Alright, so I'm at this position. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly run my hips up behind the back of Graham. This will allow me some space in this pocket where my head is, taking my chin towards my shoulder. It will allow me some space to get my shoulder to the ground. So I'm going to limp arm this to the ground. Once it's here, and I'm safe, this hand's going to go in and it's going to grab his wrist. Yeah, so I'm now safe that I've grabbed his wrist. If he doesn't quickly move this arm, I'm going to reach and I'm going to grab this wrist as well. Yeah, so I've got this wrist, and I'm pinning my head to the floor and I'm holding his arm where it is. The top leg goes over the top leg and I pull it in, taking my leg in between his, and I'm going to do like a reverse lockdown. Yeah, so I've got him in this kind of precarious position. Once I'm here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to back arch, make my back into a C, and I'm going to take him over to this side of my body. Alright, and I secure this arm really, really safe. Now, you have to take this step by step. Alright, so I get his shoulder to the ground, and I'm locking in here. It's very difficult for him to get an escape from here. I'm going to have to let go of this arm, which means that he'll be able to turn towards me if he wants to turn towards me. But I also need to get this arm from behind his back to behind his head. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to hold this and I'm going to pull him up towards me. I let go and this hand very quickly goes to the side of his head. I pin this arm, and just as I get to this point, I'm going to go over the top and I'm going to reach as high as I can up onto his skull. And I start forcing my head to the floor on the back of this elbow here. Alright, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drive with my hips and pull and get the tap. Alright, it's really easy. Yeah, we'll do it from a different angle. There. Okay, so Graham's going to Kesa Gatame me. Right, he's doing everything right. Keeping my shoulder up off the ground. I'm starting to defend this arm. I have to defend this arm. Okay, that's what he's going to attack. If you watch what I do, I'm going to run my hips up, but I'm also going to take my shoulder, my chin to my shoulder as I do that. What that allows me to do is it allows me to hide my head in this little gap, and it allows me to pull my shoulder through that hole. Alright? From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and reach through and grab this wrist. Doesn't matter if I just go inside the arm, just inside the bicep. I'm then going to pull this arm out, and I'm going to grab this wrist here. If I can. Right, it's pretty rare that I'm going to get to this point, but if I can lock my head on this arm and pull this wrist, he's in a very precarious position. This foot goes over the top and I pull this back as I stick this one through the middle. I'm going to go over the top and I'm going to reverse figure four this leg up. Now he's in a very precarious position. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my hips towards him, straighten the leg, straighten my head, and turn him over and put his back on the mats, and I drive my head to the floor. I'm then going to have to do this in sequence because it's going to be a little bit of a race. I'm going to lift his hips off the ground, and I'm going to let go of this hand and I place it on top of his head. I'm still keeping everything on this arm, right? And I'm pulling tight on this. Then driving my head in towards his elbow and back arching my spine. I'm going to get my hands together at the top of his head as high as I can, and then I pull his head and push my hips and get the tap. Okay, it should be a crank on his spine. The likelihood is when you do it in for real, it's going to be a neck crank. Okay, it's just the nature of the beast. So that's Kesa Gatame Escape to Twister, and the previous video, if you want to watch it, it was Kesa Gatame Escape to Banana Split, which is a lot more likely to get to. Okay, so we'll look at another Kesa Gatame Escape.